under considerable scrutiny.
The government announced its clean air strategy, which looks to prohibit the sale of the most polluting of those fuels and make sure only the cleanest of stoves and wood burners will be available to buy. Malcolm Robertson reports.
This is what the government wants to outlaw: traditional house coal, which affects our air quality, and the sort of wood you might find outside a supermarket or on a garage forecourt, which when wet and burnt can release air pollutants. Tony Russell's involved in a heating education and training centre at Hingham in Norfolk. He's glad the government's taking a stand on this. Just simple contrast in wood can make a real difference to the environment.
By putting wet wood into a fire, it's not burning off all the particulates, and you can quite clearly see it smoking, which will be producing creosote in the flue, which is highly flammable and can cause chimney fires. When you have dry wood, it's not producing as much pollutants into the flue, which doesn't choke them up. It produces a much better flame than wet wood. Less pollutants, looks prettier.
Dave O'Donnell's a chimney sweep from Essex. He advises those who've got fires to visit the website checkasweep.com as to what's safe and environmentally acceptable to use.
Open fires and coal, do not put wood on them because they're not designed for wood. Wood burners, multi-fuel, burn smokeless fuel or kiln-dry wood.
The government's plan is that only the cleanest stoves will be available from 2022. These are logs I got from a garage forecourt and also from a supermarket. Do you mind just testing to see what sort of percentage there is here in terms of damp?
Of course. This one, I have a handy moisture meter. By putting it on there, this one is actually reading 10% moisture, so that's perfect to burn. Anything under 20% is perfectly good to burn.
Now this says it's sort of dry.
Kiln dry less than 20% according to that, yeah. This one's actually so low, it's not making even a reading. So that's
pretty encouraging.
Perfect, that's very encouraging. What we don't want to see is things like this where people have gone into a forest, chopped down the woods, logged it up and put it somewhere thinking it's dry, where this one, that's 38% moisture. That is very harmful.
As a supplier of both coal and wood, Wil Smith supports the campaign for more environmentally friendly fuel. At his shed near Watton in Norfolk, he and his staff are getting ready for extra orders because of the cold weather. But with the demand for dry wood increasing, that will come at a cost.
The supply is limited. I think the cost will go up. 40% of UK households burn for aesthetics rather than actual heating. You know, they want a focal point in the front room. I think it's a great step forward, but it will step up in production costs and it will ultimately knock on to the consumer, the end user, who has to pay more for the product, albeit a better product.
Environmental groups are saying the government's plans don't go far enough, but those working in the industry do feel this is a step in the right direction. Malcolm Robertson, ITV News.
That is really interesting.
It certainly is, yes. Okay, the ITV